Now, as you just heard, we're seeing a rise in threats against the Arab, Jewish, and Muslim communities as the war in Gaza continues.
FBI Director Christopher Wray told lawmakers this week that the terror threat to Americans has gone up this year. But since the Hamas attack on October 7th, Wray says the terror threat has risen to a whole new level.
Emily Longnecker talked with the special agent in charge of the Indianapolis Field Office about what the FBI is seeing here locally. Emily.
Well, guys, Herb Stapleton says that locally here, the FBI is not seeing any threats against the Arab, Jewish, or Muslim communities. But Stapleton says the FBI is staying in communication with all three communities, staying proactive about any concerns of possible threats they may have right now.
Speaking up is the right thing to do when you have concerns.
That's the advice Herb Stapleton, the special agent in charge of the FBI's Indianapolis Field Office, has for Hoosiers who see or hear something that doesn't seem right. The advice coming at a time when federal officials say they're responding to a rise in threats against Arab, Jewish, and Muslim communities since the October 7th Hamas attacks. Stapleton says FBI field offices across the country are in touch daily with local police departments to understand what kind of threats they're seeing and make sure local law enforcement agencies have the full national picture.
And I think that what is clear is that across the nation, nationwide, the number of threats is ticking upward.
This week, FBI Director Christopher Wray warned lawmakers about possible copycat attacks here in the U.S. as the war in Gaza continues.
From our perspective, we don't necessarily want to wait until there are specific threats to act. We need to be collecting intelligence now. We need to be understanding what the landscape looks like.
Stapleton says when it comes to specific threats here in Indiana, there aren't any, but attention is heightened amongst law enforcement at the federal, state, and local levels.
The biggest challenge we face and the thing we worry the most about is the lone actor radicalized sort of through online propaganda.
To combat that, Stapleton says the FBI doesn't just work with local law enforcement, but community partners.
That's the only way we have a chance at preventing those types of attacks.
The key, says Stapleton, is people's willingness to share information so that see something, say something isn't just a slogan.
If we don't have information, we can't act on that information.
And Stapleton says he doesn't want to be overly alarmist, that there is no specific reason to believe there are targeted attacks planned here against Hoosiers. But he says speaking up to your local law enforcement or the FBI is the way to go if you see or hear something that concerns you.
Yeah, really take action.
For sure.
Yeah. Thank you, Emily.